Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books. Today we're taking a look at the Mr. Garrison character in South Park, multiple personality disorder, and woke BS. Because woke culture is taking over, and I don't think it's going to help someone like this. Now, this video is not to attack other people, it is just presenting different information, and how there is different things between mental health and different societal issues that are not going to help this person. Otherwise, let's get into it. Number 10. Basic characterization.
Okay, now let's try to get an answer from someone who's not a complete retard. Again,
this video is not to offend, it's just presenting some different information about some various subject matter. The Mr. Garrison character is highly opinionated. He is right in his perspective with everything he's doing. That's why there is, in the Christmas song, he's pushing his point of view about his beliefs with Christmas onto other religions.
Thank you, Mr. Head.
The character is an antagonistic figure, and with certain conflicts through the different episodes and series, there are professional psychiatrists and psychologists that get their students to reference episodes of South Park to break apart certain episodes to think, how is society going to move forward? Even though some things may be exaggerated for South Park, I'm quite surprised it's actually not to some extreme cases. However, with the Mr. Garrison character, he is highly opinionated within his beliefs, and a lot of his beliefs are conflicting with different points of view. Now, they will be touching on the woke culture within this video. Not everyone within the LGBT community, and I'm just keeping that short, will agree on every subject matter under the banner. And with certain letters that are added into that equation, there are parts here in Australia, there's 10 letters to it.
She goes, "It's LGBTQIAA+, you idiot." And then she stormed off. Did you guys know they did an update? No. If you did, that's cool. You're like an iPhone 16. You're updated.
So there's 2 P's within it. There's 2 A's in the LGBTAA and everything else. So with all the different changes, it's hard for people to keep updated with the changes. And not everyone's going to agree on the same subject matter, like polyamorous relationships. However, we will move forward. Number 9. Childhood trauma.
I never sexually abused you.
I know. I want to know why not.
What?
Was it that I was ugly?
Oh my God!
I wasn't good enough for you. Was that it, Dad?
The Mr. Garrison character doesn't have a childhood trauma as far as I'm aware of. The childhood trauma is not being sexually abused by his father. Now, we hear about the Public Enemies video that I did. He is not in that sort of situation as a child. If anything, he had a bit better upbringing. Though the big problem is the enabling of his behaviour to have his father creep in and do whatever to fill this void. That is also enabling this behaviour to carry on with this poor me syndrome that he has. The part on multiple personality disorder, Mr. Garrison is absolutely aware of his thought processes and his actions with everything that he is doing. Number 8. Homosexuality, conflict with himself.
Well, I say marriage is a holy sacrament between a man and a woman.
Who is that lady?
I don't know, but she is pissed.
Mr. Garrison certainly has some religious views and believes with Christmas it's Jesus' birthday. So there are some aspects where there's some forms of life where people have a belief system and then they're in conflict with themselves being homosexual. Now, I want to make one thing perfectly clear here. Everything within the general religious community is to always come back to what would Jesus do. So with different challenges, that's always something to come back to. With the Mr. Garrison character, he is in conflict with those beliefs. He shows different signs of homophobia. Number 7. 25 million, here I come.
That's Mr. Slave, the teacher's assistant, or as I like to write for short, the teacher's ass.
This should get me fired for sure.
Again, this is an antagonistic character using a part of a personality that he designs for himself to purposely be difficult in society to hurt people for his own beneficial gain. $25 million. Some people would do a lot of things for a much smaller figure to hurt other people. So with this character, within his multiple personalities, he's now created a new personality for himself. And this is where it gets more concerning. So he is purposely breaking different protocols to have a teacher's assistant, Mr. Slave. Now, children are being exposed to things they should not be exposed to. And this is part of the narcissistic personality disorder that he has in with his multiple personalities. So this personality that he's creating for himself is all designed for personal gain. Number 6, tolerance or acceptance.
Courageous.
So courageous. God damn it, don't you people get it? I'm trying to get fired. You tolerate a crying child sitting next to you on the airplane, or you tolerate a bad cold. It can still piss you off.
With this episode, it carried on with Mr. Garrison trying to get fired with his inappropriate behaviour. Children are speaking up, but the way the children are speaking up is not helpful. The parents being blindsided to the tolerance side of things, it's not appropriate. And I find that concerning. There are children who do try to speak up when there are concerns and get shut down. That is a societal issue when this woke culture is pushing forward too much. Now, again, there are different people within community, and I get that and help, but this character is not helping society. Mr. Garrison's behaviour pushes to get an award, and again, this is another societal issue where it's enabling behaviour and people are being accepting towards it, blind to it. There are a few concerns that get brought up when the parents realise, oh, what have we done to our children? And then there is the other part of the concentration camp of tolerance. Now, children do get pushed through to learn too many subject matters that they're not ready for. Society has moved forward in some positive ways, and it's moved forward in a lot of negative ways. There are some subject matters that are not appropriate for children. Number 5, Mrs. Garrison. So Mr. Garrison goes through a gender transformation. So this is all surgery to become a woman. Now, there are hormonal issues to say, no, that's not true. With another argument, I want to make one point perfectly clear. There are some children who are born and at birth will have different gender problems with a hormonal imbalance to not have genitalia. Very rare. However, there has to be some sort of decision made. And with a certain hormonal imbalance, there are some children who have a penis with no testicles and grow breasts and have different other pubertal issues later on. Now, with as far as good medicine is concerned and different ways of helping a person, asking different religious groups with this type of question, and this is all just being civil conversations, what is this person to do in the comparison to the good book? And most actually say, because it's a very different circumstance for that person, it's to find who they are, find the transition, and move forward with their life as that person. Mr. Garrison has taken on the gender transformation. The part that gives me concerns with that episode, despite being difficult to watch, Kyle's father wants to become a dolphin. So how far does this type of society push to what we're able to identify as and what we're able to do? Number 4, LeBeaus.
Alice and I talked and we really opened up to each other, and then we scissored all night long.
You have to be careful with scissors.
With Mr. Garrison, Mrs. Garrison, going through this transition, whatever you want to call this character now, there is another part of an identity within this character to the situation. And I want to make that clear. The multiple personality is to the situation. Now, there are some people who are drawn to different social groups due to confidence. There are people who are straight who love the homosexual community being confident. There are people within another community that get confident for mixed martial arts or for public speaking, there are different groups that draw to each other, and it's the different confidence. With the character being highly opinionated, it's an unusual push for the character. Otherwise, with a character going through such drastic changes, sometimes I think a different part to look at is finding who you are as a person, identifying with yourself, and finding a way to help society, but to work in with others, because not every fight is your fight, and you don't have to have multiple personalities to work in with different groups if you are shooting to helping a different cause. Number 3, transition back. Mr. Garrison takes a transition back to being a male. Now, again, this is not his own bodily parts, one way or another way, or how good medicine works. I don't know. It's out of my scope of practice. I'm just an assistant in nursing, so in the medical field, I'm not at the bottom end, but I'm certainly not a professional. I'm not a doctor or a specialist. So that gets into some territory that I don't understand. So with the whole rat cloning issue to get a penis again and try to be a male and identify that way, there are different regrets that people do have when going from one extreme medical procedure to something else to want to go back.
And I got you this fake mustache to put on.
I'm not putting on a mustache. I look silly.
Number 2, the president.
I can do this. This is my stank face. It's like I'm not listening to you, see? They did a really good job with my stank lips.
Now, I know obviously it's a Donald Trump reference, so I just want to move on from this point real quick. With this type of personality, you can create a character who will go through a drastic change. Now, they could be an antagonistic character for positive change or negative change. You decide. So with this type of review today, I would like to propose the thought to think about it when you do write book to book and your characters do go through different changes and different developments. Sometimes a character will have information provided and say, this is who I am, and some people will go through a lot of drastic changes. Number 1, PC principle.
The word retarded does not belong in our school! Who is in charge of the school paper? Because I'm about to break their f***ing legs!
You gonna break his legs, PC Principal?
I have to touch on this as the final point. With Mr. Garrison and the way the world is changing and certain things are pushed, we have to hear about people's pronouns.
I'm going to show you how to use eggs pronouns.
Today I'm going to show you how to use sunshine pronouns.
Today I'm going to show you how to use gummies pronouns.
It's like she's fucking 5.
Things pronouns. Cookies pronouns. Bugs pronouns. Witches pronouns. Giraffes pronouns. Rats pronouns. Roars pronouns. Mermaids pronouns.
I have to say, with the way a lot of society is moving, a lot of people are finding it harder to be a part of society. And since COVID, there were always concerns about self-isolating for too long and the damages it can do. I think there are more damages being a part of society today than to remove yourself from society. I think the world is going in a direction I find quite frightening, to be perfectly honest.
I am sick and tired of everyone telling me I'm confused. I wasn't confused until other people started telling me I was. You know what I think? I think maybe you're the ones who are confused. Yeah. I'm not going to be confused anymore just because you say I should be.
It's frightening the way the world's changing, and we've got to think of this other point. Are we pushing change for a positive change, or are we pushing change to hurt others? Otherwise, that's it for today. Hit like, subscribe, comment. With this video, it touched on some difficult subject matters. It's not out there to hurt people or offend or anything else, so please keep this comment civil, keep it clean. With all that being said, I will see you all next time.